Welcome, speculators. There's a little natural resource company I like to follow called Almaden Minerals. Not as small anymore. So they've made a nice find. They found this gold deposit in Mexico that is starting to come together. And so in the past, they've used lots of partners' monies and expertise to work their projects. But as they got into this one, just it was so good out of the gate that they just kept going it on their own. So one of their most recent updates that I was just looking at is on their blog, and they're talking about this information booth that they've set up, and they're traveling to local communities to show off their project and what they're doing and how it's a good thing for the community and how it's helping people. And so they've got pictures of the pictures and the setup and the display that they're showing. They're showing some locals what's going on, and it's not something to be scared of. We're not going to rape and pillage your neighborhood. We're creating jobs, and we're doing it in a very environmentally safe, socially responsible way that is a benefit for the local community. So they're trying to get rid of some of that stigmata that the locals might not want this project there. Um, so one of their most recent news releases gives you another update on what they're up to. This is April 16th. So they're out promoting the beauty of that project to the locals, but to the speculators that are looking at the value of the project, they're drilling it. So they're coming up with more technical details, and they're saying they're hitting, good sized intersections of nice grade gold and different parts of this project. And the closer you look at the technical details of this project, you can see how much data they've collected, all kinds of drill results over time, and they're working on more studies, more detailed information on this project. It's not an early stage exploration project anymore. It's moving along the timeline of getting closer to calling it economic or not. And so they got these pictures and these graphs that, as you put together more data, you can start displaying in the Canadian markets. This is looking at it from above with the topography and the zones that they're looking at, the drill intersections that they've put through here. We've got a grid pattern of drill intersections across it, all kinds of data. Those data points going to depth too that they show in some of these other cross sections. So this would be slicing the potential deposit, looking at it from the side, and different points of view from the side that they've also put together. And so they're saying these are the drill holes and the grades and what they're targeting. And geologists look at this and look at it for economics and completeness and the ability to mine it. And they're painting even mining potential pit slopes to this thing. And that takes a lot more work to start figuring those out. Probably won't be the exact ones at the end of the day, but an idea of where they start cutting off the grades and the size of mining to come up with resources, stuff that you can start pricing the stock against instead of arm waving exploration work. This one's turning into an asset. So it's fun to see this little company, Almaden, that's been trying to make major discoveries for years, and also hoarding lots of nice looking projects along the way, progressing a project to almost to production. So one of the ideas of that, where this project is along the timeline of life cycle of a mining company. There's a stock promoter that I like to refer to as Brent Cook, and he's created this slide, life cycle of a mining share, he calls it. And I can kind of take you through this from early stage through discovery, where you get paid the best, to feasibility, development. And he's saying that a lot of these companies, the speculators, leave in the feasibility time, and you start crunching the numbers of how economic this is and whether it can happen or not, somewhere between feasibility and development. And you got to get the locals on side and the money put together, enough people believing in it that you could build it and make it happen, that you can start valuing it on future cash flows of the project instead of what might be. You can start crunching numbers and doing math to value this thing. It's a different kind of speculator, more of an investor that comes in and goes on the values of the cash flows of one of these deposits, whereas the speculator comes in and speculates on a project happening and turning into something. I think the project that Almaden has is something. It's gone through this speculative run, and now it's come down, in share price and excitement and things, and it's in the feasibility and development phase of its life cycle, hopefully going to be a mine and going through startup where institutional money comes in that needs all that data to base their investments on, because they're investing with other people's money. They've got to point at something when everything goes wrong. They can't take the speculative shot that people investing their own money can take. Guys like you and I can take with our money if we believe in these companies. This is usually a longer timeline, smaller percentage way to make money, but a very accurate way to make money if you do your due diligence on these projects and you rule out all the fatal flaws that these projects can come that can kill these projects and make them happen. So I believe Almaden is somewhere in this trough in a down market, so it pronounces the trough even more, coming up to development, startup, mining, where we can value the thing on cash flows and eventually depletion as it gets mined out. So that's part of why I'm watching Almaden and what they're doing, whereas they're not back here where most of the companies I'm talking about are. They're trying to make that find. They've already come through that, and I think you can get a more accurate, lower percentage return on their future playing the development side. So if you're interested in that development kind of play, I think Almaden is a good one, and one that I follow and will keep following. If you're interested in my point of view of what Almaden's doing, I'd recommend you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Otherwise, Almaden's a good one to follow either way. I think you should, or I'd recommend or hope you'd subscribe to Almaden's news releases on their website as well. And thank you for listening.